This video is brought to you by the 3-Minute Board Game patrons. Keep us independent by supporting us on Patreon. Kia ora koutou and welcome to Axis and Allies Anniversary Edition in about 3 minutes. This features the 25th anniversary edition of the game, as well as my painted and modified pieces. It has no solo mode. It's a game for 2 to 6 players, playing time is long, and it's a pretty complex game. It's 1941 and the world is at war. We join the conflict just as the invasion of the Soviet Union and the attack on Pearl Harbor are about to take place. Can you lead your side to victory? The game ends once one faction controls 15 of the 18 victory cities. Area control. Taking control of regions gives you income and helps you win. Dice. Conflict is resolved with dice rolls. Player turn. There are 6 factions and 2 teams of 3 each. When it is a faction's turn to play, they take their entire turn before passing to the next player. Unless you lost your capital last turn, you start with money in hand. You may spend 5 money to buy research tokens. Then for each token, roll a die. If you don't roll a 6, you keep your tokens for next turn. But if you do roll a 6, discard all your tokens and then pick one of these columns. Roll a die and place your marker there, gaining the upgrade. If any of your production centers were damaged by bombing, you can repair them with money. Otherwise, buy units at the cost shown on this table. Infantry costs 3, tanks 5, and our newly improved fighters are 10 each. Place all units purchased into the mobilization zone on the board. Then it is your combat move. You will move all your units you want to fight this round. We move these troops and artillery from Transjordan to Egypt. Even though we have entered an occupied territory, do not start combat until after all combat moves are done. We want some more backup and have a transport and a battleship near India. Our transport can carry 2 units and moves up to 2 spaces. We drop those units into Egypt too. We move our fighter 3 spaces to Egypt. Fighters have 4 movement, so we note that we have 1 left. After finishing all our combat moves, we resolve each combat by moving the units involved to the battle board. Each type of unit has a score it needs to roll under to score a hit. Our fighter would normally be a 3 here, but as we upgraded it to jet fighters, it's now a 4. Our battleship is in an adjacent sea area and not involved in a sea combat, so it gets to make a bombardment, hitting on 4 or less. That hit moves the defender to the casualty zone. Bombardment only happens on the first round. Each artillery makes 1 attacking infantry more effective. We then roll our attack dice. We score 3 hits, which is enough to eliminate the remaining 2 units. They get to counterattack though, scoring 2 hits, which we remove units for. As we won, we occupy the region. It is now non-combat moves, and we move up some infantry from Africa and land the plane into a region we controlled at the start of the round. Alternatively, it can land on a carrier. We then deploy units to the board at our production centers. Finally, total up all the regions you control and collect their value in money, gaining additional money if you have achieved any of the goals on your player board. Why would you like this game? Axis and Allies was the first big game I purchased for myself with my paper run money back in the 1980s. So when they originally released the anniversary edition back in 2008, I had to grab it. And I have no regrets doing so because this edition is the definitive Axis and Allies for me. Axis and Allies isn't a simulationist war game. It's not particularly deep and you can do some silly ahistoric things with it, but that's also why it's so popular. It's a war game that's a game first and foremost. And what it does so well is be the best toy soldiers game it can be, moving stacks of units around the board, rolling buckets of dice, and generally having a good time. It does take a big time commitment though, and it's a weekend game to be enjoyed with friends, and perhaps some beer and pretzels too. The best thing about this game is playing with my painted set. I spent months on this project. However, I really do not recommend playing this with more than 4 players. In a 5 or 6 player game, there's just too much downtime. And like all war games, the theme's not for everyone. Plus, it takes an age to set up and put away. For a simpler, lighter World War II game, try Memoir 44. And for something very tactical, try The Sabotage. Axis and Allies Anniversary Edition. Gold medal game. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the notification button, like, share, and subscribe to the channel.